us to go the other way. Because for some reason, we're still tied to the thing that's in the ground. She tied herself to death. She died with whatever they had with them. I'm here to tell somebody, some friend that you're putting before your real relationship, you need to leave it alone. Whatever the thing is that you are putting before the thing that you need to, and it's prophetically, you're putting somebody else's voice above the voice of your parent.
Oh my God.
That's good.
You're tying yourself to something that's dead.
Preach.
Let's go a little bit deeper with that. You're not just putting it before the voice of your parent, because your true father is your heavenly father.
Yes.
So you're putting it before the voice of your God. That's what you're doing. So when she tied herself to her death, she saw no hope within herself. She saw no hope in her future. And she was kind of telling them, I want you to go. And that was the next point that you brought up that just hit me in my spirit. Because she was urging them to go away from them. And parents, let me tell you something. Sometimes our actions pushes our children away. It's our actions that we're urging them to go, because we are allowing that generational thing, that error thing to separate us. And even when they come to you, and they may not come to you correctly, you may not understand them because of the generational gap, but they're crying out to you. They're saying, I'm hurting. I need help. I'm smoking like this. I'm drinking like this. I'm acting like this because I need you. And you're pushing them away.
You're teaching now.
Don't push them away. And this is the thing. We don't have to open our mouth to give them the indication that you're pushing them away.
Yes.
Your actions says, get away from me.
Yes.
And I'm not only speaking on behalf of mother and daughter, but I'm speaking relationship all the way around.
Yes.
Your actions say, get away from me.
Yes.
You know how you can make sure your actions don't do that? Double knot. You ever see a double knot? Even when you pull, it gets stronger.
That's right.
So no matter what you're going through, no matter what the devil throw your way, when it's double knotted, it makes the tie, the bond stronger. You know how you make a double knot? You pray together. You spend time with one another. You encourage one another. You make more deposits than you do withdrawals. You know what a deposit is? You are an amazing person. I just called to say I love you. I think that you are awesome. I think, Mom, that you are the best mother. I know you didn't have it all when we was growing up, and sometimes we had to eat noodles, but you made the best way you can. You never put blueberries in macaroni and cheese.
Or raisins and collard greens.
All raisins and collard greens. But that's a deposit. You see how that made you smile?
Yes.
You just made that bond stronger. And even if the other person on the other end don't really want to hear your voice, still do it. It says love covers a multitude of sin. You have to love people past their issues.
Amen.
You can't judge them just because. Even if your mother is hard to get along with, or your husband may be hard to get along with, that day you still have to love them through it. It's a relationship. It's a double knot.
And that double knot, see, when I speak, I like to give you real life stories. Because I want you to go where I am. I'm very transparent. Let me tell you about the double knot. You're going to remember this one too. Now,
Hold on, why we didn't discuss these
no,
stories?
because I wanted the Holy Spirit to move. I wanted to surprise you.
She always do that even when we were young.
Yes,
I
yes.
had that candy, no, the Holy Spirit told me not to give it to you.
But you will remember this. I remember when your dad first left. That was one of the hardest times of my life. Very hard for me. And I remember when we lost everything. By the time we finally got a place, I remember the only thing we had was a sofa. I don't even think we had tables and chairs to eat at. I think all we had was a sofa. And I would have to wash you guys' clothes in the tub. I would go in and scrub them in the tub, y'all don't know about that old stuff.
Yes, they
We
do.
would get in there and wash that stuff in the tub.
With the washboard.
And I remember her and Kali, you were very young at that time. And I would get y'all and we would get down at the sofa, the only piece of furniture we really had, and we would pray together. And these two babies, I put them down beside me as I began to pray. And I listened to their prayers. And I will never forget to this day what you guys prayed. They didn't pray for anything for themselves. They didn't even pray, send my daddy back. When they began to pray, they said, God, send my mama a washing machine and a dryer, because she's in there, she's scrubbing, and she's trying to get our clothes clean. And they began to pray, send us a table and chairs, so when she go in and prepare our meals, we will have a place to eat together.
Help us today.
They began to pray that God would make my load lighter. And I watched everything that they pray come through those doors. I watched those babies see the manifestation of God for themselves. So let me tell you something. Your kids are never too young to introduce the God to them. Because that same God that I introduced to them that day, years later, when I lost my way, they prayed that God would bring me back to the fold. And that very thing, they would pray, God heal us, God set us free, God move on high. So the very thing that I taught them at age 4 and age 7, God used it years later to bring me back to the fold. The double knot. The double knot. The double knot.
Never know what your life can do for somebody else. What your deliverance can do for somebody else. She introduced me to God, and I reintroduced her to God, and now we both preaching for God.
Amen.
Relationship. We say it all the time. Everybody is going to hurt you, but it's up to you to understand who's worth the pain. Is it worth it? Believe me, what we've been through,
Yes.
you wouldn't think that we would be here today.
Amen.
And I still fought her back like nobody's business. I would take you out for my mama. We had a couple of them fights, but I don't care what she did, don't you? You can talk about her. That's my mama. We gonna have this, and he understand it too. I don't care.